Every year, on October 31st, the world dresses up in masks, lights candles, and celebrates fear. Children knock on doors for candy, while adults decorate their homes with ghosts and skeletons. But behind the laughter and costumes lies one of the oldest and darkest traditions humanity has ever created. A celebration born not of pumpkins and party stores, but of fire, blood, and the belief that the dead walk among the living. This is the story of Halloween, where it came from, how it changed, and what it still hides in the shadows. 1. The Celtic roots, Samhain, the night. When the veil was thin, long before Halloween had candy or costumes, there was Samhain, pronounced Samhain. Over 2,000 years ago, the ancient Celts celebrated Samhain as the end of the harvest and the start of winter, a time when the boundary between worlds grew thin. On that night, they believed the spirits of the dead returned to visit their families, and sometimes to take revenge. Villagers built huge bonfires to scare away malevolent souls and wore animal skins to disguise themselves from wandering ghosts. Food was left outside as offerings, because hungry spirits were easier to please than to fight. Samhain wasn't just a festival, it was a survival ritual, an ancient pact between the living and the dead. 2. The Roman touch, Pomona and the seeds of Halloween. When the Romans conquered Celtic lands, they blended Samhain with their own festivals, particularly the Feast of Pomona, the goddess of fruit and orchards. Pomona's symbol was the apple, and from this fusion came one of Halloween's strangest games, bobbing for apples, once a pagan ritual of divination and love. Young people would try to bite floating apples without using their hands. The first to succeed would supposedly marry next year. A game now seen at children's parties once carried echoes of fate, fertility, and the spirits of autumn. 3. The Church strikes back, All Hallows' Eve. By the 8th century, the Christian Church decided to transform pagan Samhain into something safer. They created All Saints' Day, or All Hallows' Day, on November 1st, and the night before became All Hallows' Eve, which in time became Halloween. The bonfires stayed, but now they were called holy fires. The costumes remained, but now represented saints and angels. The church may have changed the name, but not the fear that still lingered behind it. 4. Witches, cats, and the Devil's Night. During the Middle Ages, Halloween took a darker turn. The church began linking old pagan customs to witchcraft and the devil. Black cats became cursed companions, believed to be witches in disguise. Owls were seen as messengers of death, and carved turnips, yes, turnips, were placed on doorsteps to ward off evil. In Ireland, people began telling stories of Stingy Jack, a drunkard who tricked the devil and was condemned to wander the earth with a glowing coal inside a carved turnip. That legend became the jack-o'-lantern, and when Irish immigrants reached America, they replaced the turnip with the larger, easier-to-carve pumpkin. 5. Halloween comes to America. Halloween crossed the Atlantic in the 19th century with Irish and Scottish immigrants. At first, Americans were suspicious of it, too pagan, too foreign. But by the early 20th century, Halloween had evolved into a community event, parades, parties, and the earliest versions of trick-or-treating. Children began dressing up and visiting homes, offering to perform a trick unless given a treat, a playful echo of the old Celtic offerings to wandering spirits. By the 1950s, Halloween had become a massive national holiday. Less about the dead, more about fun, candy, and pop culture. But even under all the plastic masks, something ancient still stirs. 6. The psychology of fear. Why we love to be scared. Why do we enjoy fear? Because paradoxically, fear in a safe space, a haunted house, a horror movie, a costume party, releases dopamine and adrenaline. It's the thrill of danger without the consequences. Ancient rituals used fear to purify and protect communities. Modern culture uses it for entertainment, but the feeling is the same. We're drawn to what frightens us. It's our oldest instinct, and our most human one. 7. Real legends, real deaths. Behind the candy-colored glow of Halloween lie true stories that still haunt historians. In 1938, Orson Welles' War of the Worlds radio broadcast convinced thousands that aliens were invading. On Halloween night, in 1964, a New York woman actually handed out poison treats to trick-or-treaters as a joke. In 1974, the Candyman case, where a father poisoned his own son's Halloween candy, sparked decades of urban legends about razor blades and cyanide. Most Halloween horror stories are myths, but a few are chillingly real. 8. The global Halloween, how the world celebrates the dead. Not every culture celebrates Halloween, but almost every culture has a night for the dead. In Mexico, there's Dia de los Muertos, the Day of the Dead, a vibrant celebration where families welcome spirits home with flowers, food, and music. In Japan, there's Obon, a festival of lanterns and ancestors. In China, the Ghost Festival fills the streets with offerings for wandering souls. Halloween is just one mask of a universal truth. Every civilization must make peace with death. 9. The business of fear. Halloween is now a multi-billion-dollar industry. Costumes, decorations, horror movies, haunted attractions. It's one of the most profitable holidays in the world. But what makes it unique isn't just commerce, it's transformation. It's the one night where anyone can become anything. The shy become monsters, the ordinary becomes supernatural, and the line between the real and unreal blurs, just as it did for the Celts thousands of years ago. 10. The myths, the superstitions, and the truth. Why do we say trick or treat? Because it was once a threat from mischievous spirits, or mischievous children pretending to be them. Why black and orange? They symbolize death and harvest, the colors of Samhain. Why do we fear the full moon on Halloween? Because it never actually happens. The last true Halloween full moon was in 2020, and the next won't come until 2039. Even the smallest Halloween traditions carry whispers from the past, from sacrifices to stories, from fire to flashlight. Conclusion. Halloween began as a night of fear, a way to face death and chaos at the turning of the year. Over time, it became fun, colorful, and commercial. But at its heart, Halloween is still about one thing: the connection between the living and the dead. So when you light a candle inside a pumpkin or hear laughter echoing down a dark street, remember, this is more than a party. It's a ritual as old as civilization, a reminder that fear, memory, and magic are all part of what makes us human. Happy Halloween!